Welcome to this week's episode of Ask Georgie. And as usual, my popping shirt. So the shirt that I'm wearing, I got from the Mavens.io conference that I spoke at earlier this year in 2018. It was a great conference that brought together women leaders in the tech and entrepreneurship space. Shout out to We Build Black, the team that produced this summit. And shout out to ThoughtWorks, the location of the event. It was a really great experience being on their panel a couple months ago. And without further ado, let's dive right in to this week's episode of Ask Georgie. Today, the question is all about skills. What are the top 3 technical skills an entrepreneur should have? And I'm going to toot my own horn here. I have all 3 of the skills I'm about to tell you about. And having these skills has made my entrepreneurial journey a lot easier, I would say, as well as my communication skills so much better. And let me just jump right into it. So the first skill every entrepreneur should have, technical skill, is knowing how to read and or write code, because everything is technical these days. Everything has some type of coding, programming enabled in it. And to start off, just learn the basics: HTML and CSS and a bit of JavaScript. If you could know that, if you know how to read and or write any of that, you're good to go. Most coding languages are just like any other languages. Once you know the basics of it, you'll kind of tell how things match together. And coding is literally like reading. I started coding back in MySpace days, as most of us out there, when you have to, code your bio, code, little things to make your page poppin' and cool. My page was always on fleek. I don't even know if fleek is cool to say anymore. If it's not, please excuse my uncoolness. I'm a mom, I don't know. Anyways, that's where I started my coding journey, and just being able to understand and be able to read and go into the go into the code and say, that looks a little off, has been a skill that has been so important on my entrepreneurial journey. When I have my CTOs or my tech guys working on something and then something happens out of an emergency, I could go in myself and read a little bit and figure out the problem. And just knowing how to code and learning and understanding code, it makes you a better problem solver. For me, that has been true. You could Google anything. There's Stack Overflow. There's GitHub. There's so many resources out there that you really have no excuse to not know how to read and write. See, this time I didn't even say or. Read and write basic code such as HTML, CSS. No excuses. Modern day entrepreneur, and for the future, you will need to know how to code. Point blank, period. That's it. The second technical skill that has been a lifesaver is learning project management. So project management is really the process of managing a team, right? So inside of your business, you'll have different projects and clients and things that come in, and being able to manage that project is going to be so important because you have to delegate. As a solopreneur, you know how to do everything yourself. So you are the mechanic, the technician, the writer, the reader, you are everything in your business when you're a solopreneur. But the goal is to kind of build up your company beyond that point. And even if you continue to be officially a solopreneur, having employees, having freelancers be able to come in and handle some of that work for you so that the business can still continue to run when you're not there. And understanding project management, how to delegate tasks to different team members, setting up deadlines, looking and researching what needs to be done is really key, and figuring out how all the parts of the project work together in order to produce that final result is very, very important. This is like make it or break it, guys. There's a lot of resources out there these days to explain to you how to do project management. You'll learn about Gantt charts. You'll learn about platforms like Teamwork, Asana, Trello. There are so many free resources out there about becoming a project manager that I don't want to hear any excuses. Google it, YouTube it. The third very important technical skill that no entrepreneur should be without is understanding how to navigate data, because you will spend a lot of time and money if you don't. So data is pretty much code for information. So don't think of it as like this big crazy thing. And if you don't know how to analyze data, data analytics, if you don't know the basic of that, you will be out on your behind. If you don't know how to take in data, look at it, make charts, make assumptions, create analysis, create reports. If you don't know how to do that, you're putting yourself at a deficit. So for the last couple of years, I've been the bookkeeper, the data analyzer, the numbers person for my companies. And it's not because I enjoy these things, like I do find fun in them now, but because I had to be that person and understanding how to go into the data and say, hold up, that's wrong. That needs to be changed. We need to change the way we do things because that data does not look good. Or, oh wow, that person is interested in our products. We sold over 1,000 to that group of people. Maybe we should start targeting them. So understanding how to analyze data and get reports and take information from that data will, one, help you grow your company, save you a lot of time and money, as well as energy. So just to recap now, the 3 skills no entrepreneur in 2018 and or further, any day from today going on, should live without is knowing how to read and or write code. Start with the basics, HTML, CSS. Have project management skills, know how to run that project and delegate, and know how to do data analytics, analyzing data, creating reports, and creating assumptions and results from that data. I'll be launching some content on the GSD University so you can learn how to do it yourself in all these areas, because I did a lot of the grunt work from taking everything from reading books to take classes on Lynda to researching on YouTube and Google how to do a lot of these things. And so I've kind of packaged it up so that it's easier for you to go in, take like a 3-hour, 4-hour class over the span of a week, 2 weeks, and get the accelerated version of this information, because it's so key to becoming a successful entrepreneur, to having these skills. Technical skills are super important. They're not going anywhere. And that's it for this week's episode of Ask Georgie. If you have any questions for me, feel free to leave them below. You don't even have to go to my website. Just leave them in the comment section. Like and subscribe to this video, and we'll catch you next week for another episode of Ask Georgie.